We're live. We're live. I'm all clean shaven. Look, your beard's grown back, John. I've just noticed.
Yeah, I noticed that I had a lot of complaints from the housewives saying they like me with a beard, so decided to grow it back. It took me 3 days because I'm so manly, you know.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, welcome everyone. Welcome to Claret and Booze, and this is the Saturday night Claret and Booze up. We've shifted it this week because we basically there's been so much to talk about. This week, you know, it's been we're going to go through it all, but you know that particularly the roller coaster that I've been through, you know, fucking hell. I mean, I was so buoyant on Monday when that video, and then it just crashed and burned, and then we've been picked up again, haven't we? But we're going to go through all that shortly. So I'll run through the agenda quickly. So we are going to touch on the past week. Dig through that, then we're gonna dig into Lingard just one last time, just because it's
got to
fun.
be done.
Especially now because it feels like we've moved on now. We've moved on already from Lingard, which is good.
Well, you have.
Yeah. Then we're going to go into the transfer centre and do exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, and talk about transfers when I was having one of my tantrums. So we're going to talk about our new signing. I don't care what anyone says. Our new signing, Scamacca. He's our man. We're going to talk about Kostic as well. Well, Gary's going to talk about Kostic. And then John's got a player as well, haven't you, from Napoli? Very interesting player.
Yeah.
How'd you say his name?
Peter Zielinsky. You don't know that, but the way the Polish spell Peter, P-I-O-T-R, is Peter.
It's Piotr.
You don't know that because you're uneducated.
It's Piotr. And and then we've got and then what I'll do is I'll run through the remaining sort of transfer rundown. Then we've got a little bit of a special feature for one of our friends. We've got some good news, and then there's going to be a Q&A section for you all as well. So while we're doing that, throw us some questions, and that can take up the last sort of 15-20 minutes of the show, or however long it runs. We're not on the clock. We're not on the clock. Yeah. So Gary, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Had a really busy day, actually. We've got a new boxer pup, and she's been literally running riot for 3 hours. 3 hours. Biting the other dogs, biting us, chewing up the furniture, doing everything. Just been constantly monitoring her.
Is she quite destructive, is she, at the moment?
Not really. You know what she does? She teases you. She kind of gets her mouth around the bottom of the sofa and looks at you.
Oh.
And so you have to kind of get up and move her before she starts chewing it.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, fine. Cheers.
That sounds like my wife.
John, I know you've had a bit of a busy day.
Yeah, mate. So took the boy football training, and then we went over and watched Dagenham and Redbridge versus Leyton Orient, whilst my friend had his phone out and was watching West Ham Luton on some YouTube link that he found as well. So I was watching 2 games at once, which is
Were you paying any attention? Were you paying any attention to the Dagenham game at all, or?
Yeah, because that's in front of you, isn't it? So you tend to watch that live. And there was a few arguments between the Leyton Orient right winger was having a right Barney with this Dagenham and Redbridge fan. And when I say this Dagenham and Redbridge fan looked like he was on the scene of Shameless, I'm not even exaggerating. And he had the cheek to call the winger a fat C-U-N-T. And
brilliant.
The size of the geezer saying it was like, mate, you must have a magic mirror,
He's just being ironic, wasn't he?
Yeah, just being on. How are you, Nick, anyway? Because we never ask how are you. And let's be honest, this week you have had more mood swings than a Women's Institutes meeting, haven't you? So
yes, mate. I'm good now. Yeah. Well, as you saw, my mood shifted straight away because, like I said, I got home yesterday, didn't I? I mean, my shit week continued because I put that rant out yesterday. It took me 3 hours to upload it, didn't it, Gary? Wouldn't upload. It was just ridiculous. So YouTube killed that video. But then, look, shortly after it uploaded, the news came out about Scamacca, which completely almost made my fight with that video completely irrelevant because it felt like a stupid video to put out at that point.
It is like West Ham are looking out for your videos so they can do something different straight afterwards.
Yeah, they're mugging me off. Really, I shouldn't have put that Scamacca video out, to be quite honest, because I'm probably tempting fate. But
I know, because he hasn't signed yet officially.
Yeah, but he has. We know he has, don't we? We know he has. He's coming home.
He's coming home.
Unless something catastrophic happens on his medical, he's a West Ham player. It's all done. It's all done.
We'll talk about him in a minute, but you like the look of him, and he seems quite.
No, I do. So the last week, I mean, like I say, all started. It was last Sunday when it was all. I don't know who broke it. I haven't got a clue, but it spread like wildfire. So didn't matter where you looked, what news outlet you looked at. Everybody was saying the same thing. You know, we was linked with 4 players. We was, Onana. There was a bidding for Brozier, Scamacca, Ram, and Lingard was a done deal. That's what we was hearing. That's what we was reading everywhere. You know, even all the what are usually the credible sources like Steinberg and places like that. Now, so naturally, as a fan base, it weren't just me. We were all kind of picked up by that. We thought it's happening. We're going to kick on this week, and then obviously Jesse Lingard went and threw a grenade into all that. Went and threw an absolute grenade into it, and it was just. It was unbelievable. It's been an unbelievable week because obviously we went through that. Because we told you in the morning, didn't we, John? So I sent you a WhatsApp, and your reaction was you pulled over and you had a almost like a live rant into the camera, didn't you?
Yeah, and that's not usually my style. I'm quite reserved and quite like. It takes a lot for me to get riled up, but obviously football is a passion of mine, as it is you guys and everyone watching it and that. And then when you see that, as a footballer, look, you can argue that I'm just angry that he didn't join West Ham, but I'm not. If he would have gone to a club, if he would have gone to Newcastle, I could have seen the reasons why. Right? If he would have listen, even if he would have gone to Spurs, I could have understood it because Conte's building a squad, they're pushing for something there. He's gone backwards, and it really annoyed me because I know it's a short career and they've got to make as much money as they can. You could argue, but at 29, I just felt that he's sort of almost. Look, I'm not slagging off Forest by any stretch of the imagination. As I said in that video, honest to God, I know Forest's history. I'm not bemoaning Forest as the club, but as a footballer, you've got to question the decision. There's no getting away from.
It's not a football decision. It's not a football decision.
I don't know, right? No. Fuck Forest, because Forest have been taking the piss relentlessly. I know it's not all their fans, but some of their fans have been rubbing our nose in it and sort of saying, "Look how big we are. He's come to us because we've won the Champions League twice." Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just adjust that a bit because you can turn that into wanker quite easily, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
Right?
Yeah,
he was. I mean, he's already done. Did you see that fucking stupid TikTok video he made today with the new Forest kit? And oh god, the guy's just on a wind up, and I mean, look, I am now, especially after seeing that TikTok video, really, really pleased that we haven't got the fucker because he would have just been a distraction. And I reckon part of his decision, money aside, part of his decision was based on the fact that he's going to go to Forest. They're going to treat him like a hero. Yeah. He said today something like, "Oh, he felt the love from Forest. That's why he went there." Fuck off! Yeah. You felt the love. You felt the weight of the pound notes. That's what you felt. But anyway, that's what he's going to be, and he's going to get away with murder there, right? You notice he wasn't doing all that fucking TikTok shit all the time with us, was he? When he was,
he ain't committed to the project though, is he? Because he's only signed a 1 year deal. He signed a 1 year deal.
No, of course he's not committed to it, and the reason for that is because he didn't want to sign. Obviously, either Forest didn't want to offer him a 3 year deal because if they go down, but then relegation clause. I doubt very much he'd have signed a relegation clause, which would have halved his wages or something if they got relegated, right? But I don't remember from his time with us. Now, I know he was active on social media, but I do not remember it that during his time with us that he was all over fucking TikTok doing that crap, right?
No.
To be honest, I don't usually follow it. To be honest, that sort of thing, Instagram.
I'm sure we would have seen it though, Nick. If it existed, I'm sure we would have seen it. It would have been on Twitter or something like that, like it is now, right? This guy's just taking the absolute piss out of Forest, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll tell you why this has happened though, and I'll tell you, and you're probably right. And the reason that he probably has become because he was almost like the forgotten man until he came to West Ham. We put him back on the map. I know it was a two-way relationship. I know he helped us get sixth place. He was very good when he came in. But essentially, we gave him a platform. David Moyes, we said it before, when we had that conversation about Ben Rama, how David Moyes has never given Ben Rama the freedom that he gave Lingard. He basically said to Lingard, just go out, enjoy yourself. And he did. And like I say, that is basically, we built him up. And we created.
You're exactly right, because had he not had that little stint at West Ham, he wouldn't be signing a 10 million deal with Nottingham Forest now, would he?
No way.
I think the worrying thing for me is that I did some digging, and it's not hard to find the information that I found. But I think the highest earning player at Forest last season was about 30 grand a week, 35 grand a week.
Yeah. So how's that going to go?
So that is going to cause all sorts of, possibly, it's going to cause all sorts of problems in the dressing room. However, if he does come in and hit the ground running and is a massive success, I'm sure they'll forget it. But as soon as there's a downward turn in any success or any form that they have during the season, it could quite easily, the tables could turn.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough for me is that he's never been the big fish in a small bowl, has he? He's always been a bit part player at Man United. We know he had fantastic spells, and he had fantastic spells playing for England. We know that. But I just think that, can he carry the price tag? Can he carry the wages tag? It's a big ask of him as well, because
he's in that environment. I don't know if you heard the interview on Talk Sports today with Carlton Cole, what he said. And look, obviously, Carlton Cole's West Ham through and through. He's going to be a bit bitter about the whole thing, and he is bitter. But he said if he was in that sort of Nottingham Forest changing room, he said he would not be buying into this Jesse Lingard thing at all. Not when you consider the average wage, like you just said, being around about sort of 30 grand a week, and he's coming in, and he is going to be, because I imagine looking at him from the outside, to me he looks like the type of character he'd fucking irritate me.
No, let's
but I just think he would. I'd walk in the morning and that fucking idiot would be dancing. I just want to smack him.
Do you know the funny thing about? Do you know the funny thing? The funny thing about it, though, the funny thing about it is that since he's been given the free transfer from Man United, his social media profile has blown up even more, and the amount of stuff he's doing on it has grown up even more. And to me, it was almost like he was trying to promote himself as some sort of celebrity rather than a footballer, and that's what really got my goat, because I understand it's the world we live in now, right? I'm 43, so I missed the boat on all the social media stuff. I get it, right? I know what it's about. I know what it's for. But does a player, he earns enough money. He's on a fantastic wage. He's a multi-millionaire already, quite rightly, and he deserves it. I'm not questioning that at all, right? He's worked hard to get where he is. But does he really have to go out and constantly do all this stuff? Like I think someone in the chat said, like a 12-year-old girl. That's how I look at it. It's like a 12-year-old girl. That's what I can't understand. And that's the only problem.
Yeah.
He's a professional footballer. He's a professional sportsman. He's an athlete, or meant to be,
Yeah.
He acts like he's not mentally developed. To me, he's no. To a degree. I mean, I
know what you mean.
do you know what I mean? Because he acts like a child.
Anyway,
he must see the comments. He must see the stick that he gets, because the guy lives on social media. He must be seeing what people are saying about him.
He's surrounded by people telling him how fucking great he is, right? That's what it is. And as soon as that career is over, those people telling him how great he is won't be around him anymore.
No.
Well, I think and the thing is, Gal, is that the biggest people in his influencing him was decision, allegedly, are his brother and his dad. No?
Well, his brother is, let's just say, a troubled character. His dad was the absent dad when he was growing up, who swooped back in to control his career. Comes from a very dodgy background, a very unstable background, So, is the antithesis of Declan Rice, who comes from a solid family, Of a solid family who always seems to have his best interests at heart. I mean, you can imagine if Declan Rice's parents were Jesse Lingard's parents, right? There's no way he'd be playing for West Ham this season.
Yeah, no, not at all. But so I'll tell you, but sort of moving away from Lingard just momentarily though.
I think we should.
Because what I'm saying is we've done Lingard to death, and we're gonna, and this will be the last time that we discuss it. But we know we sort of saw yesterday, Gary, that it is David Moyes that's been hanging on for Lingard, isn't it? For 3 windows, it absolutely is.
I think without a doubt. And honestly, when it all blew up, it wasn't really the fact that we didn't get Lingard that pissed me off, because I found that mildly irritating because we've been chasing him for so long. I thought the way he's a flaky character, Lingard, and I thought it cheapened the good name of West Ham to be chasing such a flaky character and letting him make all the decisions.
Well,
You can't put that kind of power in the hands of someone like that, right? So fuck him. He's gone now. Don't want to talk about him ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I'd slightly disagree with that, because I think that what you got to remember is we had him on loan. He was phenomenal. He helped us get where we got, right, and finish in the league. You know, then January came, and as much as we would have taken him in January, you've got to remember what happened with Greenwood. Greenwood got arrested or whatever, and I think that's when probably Jesse Lingard thought, I might have a shot here. So I think we didn't have the opportunity in January. Man United wanted to keep hold of him, right? So as much as we can say we would have took him in January, but we possibly couldn't because of what happened to Greenwood, right?
Yeah.
And what's happened in the meantime is you've got to remember we had to wait until June the 1st until his contract ran out, right? So we don't know. I'm sure negotiations to some degree started before then, right? Obviously, but legally nothing can happen until then. And then he's probably gone, I'm going away for 2 weeks. He spent 2 weeks dancing on TikTok in LA. So have we really been hanging on and chasing him that much?
John, 2 things, right? Number one, Moyes flew out to the States to speak to Jesse Lingard. Right,
that's normal. That's normal. They do go
that's not something you'd take lightly, right? The manager going out. No. Secondly, and this is an absolute fact, he gave Moyes his word that he was going to sign for us.
So what can Moyes do about that?
So that's why Moyes was waiting for him. So I'm kind of making you right to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I still maintain you don't trust a flaky fucker like that.
Yeah, but how would you know he's a flaky, as you say, until that time comes?
If he didn't know, he could have asked me. I would have told him. Huh? He could have asked me. I would have told him. It's obvious he's a flaky fucker, right? I mean, you can't rely on someone like that.
No. It was, and like I say, and that is a main issue for me was, and he does. He appears to get stuck on certain things, Moyes, and I think that's part of the reason why. Yeah. Because we know the other issues that we've got with recruitment, because we've lived it now for 12 years, 13 years with Sullivan. But to add into that mix, David Moyes being the way that he is, I think that probably has hamstrung us a little bit. It's almost like a match made in hell, isn't it, with them two? But what happened then? Like I say,
shall I just quickly go through some comments regarding Lingard, and then we can put it to bed?
Yeah, go on.
There's obviously going to be quite a few comments, as we can understand. Mr. Mace, all that TikTok stuff is for 12-year-old girls. He's meant to be a grown man, pathetic.
Yeah.
Never lived in the real world. Bollocks to him.
I agree. Yeah.
Covering a little bit of what Gary said, how much time was wasted on one player when we could have signed others, but we have signed others. And I think the only thing I'd say is, I'm not defending Moyes to the cows come on, but if Lingard's given him his word, then Moyes has to sit on other targets, because he don't know, until he gets Lingard over the line, he can't change his.
I don't agree. I don't agree with it. I don't think any other club, any other manager in West Ham's position, John, where we're so desperate to get players in, as Gary said, would have put all of our chips on a flaky character like that. It was a weak decision by Moyes. It was weak.
Yeah. No, but what are you saying he's flaky about if he's given him his word? What I'm saying is if we would have got Lingard, then we probably wouldn't be going for or linked with the guy that I'm going to talk about, would we? That's what I'm saying. So it's a domino effect, isn't it? I get what you're saying. Forest were a big club, they're not anymore. Fuck TikTok, boy, we move on. Jamie says Forest will survive and surprise people. They may well, but it's not, my problem's not with Forest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope they don't.
Well, he's only got a year contract, then what? Yeah. Been too long for him to sign for West Ham now, put too much pressure on himself. An idiot with money is the worst kind. Yeah. Lingard probably thinks he will become the new Robin Hood at Forest. Yeah, very apt, very apt. And this is an interesting thing for me with Forest, because you remember when Fulham come up a couple of years ago and they made about a dozen signings.
Yeah.
Forest have made 11 signings. That's a massive overhaul. That's a huge overhaul. I mean, that is that's a risk. Some people say it's a calculated risk, but bringing in someone on that much money, I bet the others they've brought in are nowhere near that money either. Do you know what I mean? So, what's John say here? Lingard said in an interview that Noble told him off for using his phone, as none of the players are allowed their phones at training.
Yeah.
Well, that might have been why the fact he wasn't so prevalent on social media.
That's exactly what I was what I was alluding to when I said that. I don't think he was allowed to do so much. I reckon he's got the agreement to do what the hell he likes at Forest.
Yeah. Probably. And just to end it, Lawrence is agreeing with us to move on. Screw the Lingard decision. Let's talk Hammers, mate, over the conversation.
Absolutely. Can I just say one more thing?
I agree.
Can I just say one more thing before we put this to bed? And this made me so angry that I almost smashed up my iPad, right? I heard that when Jesse Lingard was here, and this just, I can't remember where this come from. It was a reliable source anyway, but when Jesse Lingard was here, he was in the dressing room fucking talking to the other players as if his brand, J Lings, was bigger than the West Ham brand. Now, fuck off, mate.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. You're a two-bob Man United substitute who you've played about 150 games in your whole career. The only reason you got such a big profile is because you was on the bench at Man United and they've got all these hundreds of thousands of fans worldwide. That's the only reason you're popular, mate. Right?
Yeah, but he's a Man United reject.
He's in for a fucking rude awakening. Bigger than West Ham. My arse, you little prick. Anyway, I'm done.
That's it. Yeah. Right. Anyway. Okay. That's it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Is it that way? Yeah. Right. Anyway, look. Let's move on. Right. So good news. Then we got some good news, didn't we? We know a lot about Scamacca now. We've been look. By the time apart from bloody Downs, who came out the blue, by the time it comes to assigning any player, we're going to know fucking everything about them, their shoe size, what nursery they went to, because of all the videos that channels like us put out on them. So we all know about these players. We know about Scamacca, and we knew that we were apparently putting a bid in for him. But news broke from Dharmesh, didn't it, on Sky Sports that we were in, and then we started getting messages through, didn't we? Basically it was a done deal, and this was pretty quick after the Lingard thing was confirmed. So I don't know what's happened there, and this is what I wanted to say. This isn't talking about Lingard, but what do you think happened there? Do you think that this was on the cards already? Because I don't know. Looking at Scamacca, I love him, and I'm glad we're getting him. I think he's brilliant, but he isn't typically the type of player that Moyes would normally go for. Not typically. He is a Newman player. He's a player that Newman identified. Now I know that Newman and Moyes worked together, but it was common knowledge that Moyes fancied Broja over Scamacca, and he wanted to hang on for him. So what do you think happened? What do you think made Moyes go, all right, we'll drop Broja, let's go and get Scamacca? Because that isn't very David Moyes-like when Broja's still on the table. Do you think there's been an intervention? Do you think somebody has overpowered him and gone, look, Dave, I'm sorry, mate, we've got to go and get this fucking player in?
No.
I don't know if there's been an intervention by Sullivan, if that's what you're alluding to, but what I would say is, at the very least, I think Moyes knows now that the fact Lingard's done what he's done, again, sorry to mention him, but the fact that happened now has forced Moyes' hand somewhat, because he now knows he needs to bring in bodies. He can't wait any longer. I think we're 2 weeks, is it, to the start of the season against City?
Yeah,
2 weeks.
Right. So these bodies need to come in. They're not going to be, probably some that come in ain't going to be match fit straight away and all that, but you need them, you need them in ASAP. And I think that we will get a couple more signings next week because of this issue that's happened and because of the rejection, Gal?
Well, I don't think anyone forced his hand. I think he forced his own hand, which is pretty much what you just said. I think he's, from what I heard, he was very, very angry about Lingard, right? And
he feels personally mugged off, doesn't he? Because he has been mugged off. He's been mugged off. That's why, and he's allowed it to happen.
He absolutely has. And look, this is the David Moyes we wanted to see all along. Not the David Moyes that fucking wasted the January window. Not the David Moyes that's wasted half of this window so far, apart from a couple of very good signings. We just want to see him get the business done in time, rather than because I hate the fact that this window goes into the first month of the season. I really hate it.
I agree.
And that's a real weakness for us, given the way David Moyes operates. Because how are you going to get a player settled properly unless it's a star, an experienced Premier League star? If you're bringing someone over from Europe or something like that, how are you going to get them settled in the Premier League? If you're bringing them over, they're not having a pre-season. The Premier League's already up and running. You're partway through the season, have to fight their way into the side. It just doesn't work,
No. But are you excited? Do you want me to tell you a little about Scamacca anyway? Should we?
Go on, then, give us what you know.
Just a little bit. So basically, look, let's just touch on the last season. We know that he's just basically broken into the Italian national squad now. He's only a young chap. We know he's an absolute beast. He's 6'5". He's a bit of a freak bowler, counts in the sense. What I'm trying to say is that the size of him, but his mobility and his quick feet. He's a really, really unique character, and he has been likened to. Look, I'm not saying he's as good, but in terms of style, he's likened to Ibrahimovic. He's similar because the geezer loves a step over, the geezer loves a trick. He can run. He's, like I say, he's got the size and the power of an old-fashioned number 9, and he's got the trickery of a winger. He can do all of that. He's got talent. The other thing that he likes to do as well, because obviously people are questioning whether or not they think that he can be. Whether it could work in a solo striker scenario like Antonio. This is his preferred scenario. This is what he does. When I've read a couple of scout reports, and they all say the same thing. Sorry, this guy loves close contact with centre backs. He likes to be in their faces. He doesn't like to stand off them. He wants to be on top of them. So he's a type of a player. He will win the ball. He's a target man. He's a foil. He's a pivot. So if we've got Bowen on the right and you've got Antonio on the left, or whoever goes on the left, we've got runners, and you've got this guy in there as well with. And he's got everything. This guy, he scores all types of goals. He's got a ridiculous shot. He will have a pop from outside the box. He will. He scored some absolute screamers. He's potentially a great player. A great player. Now, people talk about his stats. They say he only scored 16 goals last year. Right, bear in mind, he didn't play 90 minutes of every game. And the stats that I saw earlier on. So, non-penalty goals per game, his ratio is 0.63. Right?
Wow.
Now, that's high. Now, to put that in perspective, Mbappe, who had a storming season last year, playing for a team that piss everyone every week, is only 0.73.
Yeah.
Goals per 90 minutes. So this guy ain't a million miles off of that, and he's playing for Sassuolo, wherever you say it. He's a fucking good player. He's a really, really good player. And look, I would have liked Brozier as well. But I wouldn't say I wanted Brozier any more than him. I think this guy is the more complete player, because Brozier, I think, was a bit of a risk. He was exciting, but he's a prospect. I think Brozier is, isn't he? He's he's a prospect.
Every transfer's a risk, whether they played Premier League or not. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like the look of him. The fact that he can lead the line by himself. Not only can he prefers to lead the line by himself, because that is the job of a striker at West Ham, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to be the battering ram. You're going to be up front. You're going to be expected to do that. That in itself, by taking the attention of defenders, that's going to free up, hopefully, Antonio to play on the left and Bowen on the right. Antonio gets to bully fullbacks again.
It's what he wants to do anyway. And the thing is, this guy, look, the only thing that he can't do, because he's not a wing, you don't use him, he's not going to run the channels. He's not going to do that.
No.
He's not that type of player. But the fact is, we've got pace. If you play in the right way, the way that we should have used Haller, because if we'd have used him in that way, because where Haller came from at Frankfurt, he was a big player with fast players around him. We've got the players to do that now. We can do that with him. We can use him as a foil.
I think for me the exciting thing is that he is something different, and we've been crying out for a plan B at times. We've been very same-ish, game in, game out, season in, season out, which has got us. Listen, I'm not bemoaning it, because it's got us we've had 2 great seasons. But sometimes you need an option. You need something different, and this is what he looks like he offers. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know a lot about him until the last few weeks watching Stell's show. Your little take on him as well, Nick. And I think the thing I like about him a lot is that he cut his teeth in Serie B, going on loan to teams in Serie B, like our championship. So he's not scared to put himself out there and try and gain experience. And I like players like that, that are not, they're not afraid of going on loan to a lower league team and sort of cutting their teeth a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think his entire character, he isn't afraid of anything. He's gonna. Yeah. I mean, once he learns that West Ham fans are titillated by violence, I think he's gonna be a dangerous player because he's honestly he's a passionate player. I mean, you learnt a little bit about his family, didn't you, Gary?
I think his dad went. This was a few years ago now. His dad broke into the Roma. I don't know what Roma directors had done to him, but he broke into the Roma car park and smashed up their cars with an iron bar. Right. His granddad, so his dad's dad, went to a nightclub in Rome and threatened people with a knife. Oh dear. I don't know what happened there.
So basically, he's from a bit of a tasty. He's had a bit of a tasty upbringing.
Bit of a tasty family.
He's a bit of a tasty family. He's a massive lump. He's got an aggressive style of play. He's suited to the Premier League. The only thing is he is fiery. I think he's got he might have a red card in him. That's the only thing.
Yeah. He looks like he could be an American History X with all them tattoos, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, I know. But look, I'm excited. I am excited by it. This is for me. This is a fantastic signing. So obviously it's not done yet. They've got to dot the i's and cross the t's. And I
think the tattoos these days mean nothing, right? I mean, he could equally be a very aggressive, violent bloke, or he could work in a fucking vegan coffee shop.
He could be vegan. He could be vegan. He could be vegan and ride a Brompton with a really elevated seat post because he's 6'5". Yeah.
Just talking of coffee shops, Scal, you might know because you're I went past a coffee shop earlier and it said plant-based coffee. Can you explain what that means? I thought beans were plant-based.
I thought all coffee was plant-based.
Well, I couldn't work it out. I just think it's another selling point. I'm sorry I went off subject. I thought as you're the only Labour person on screen, I thought you might know.
Fucking you, my woke. You taking the piss out of my wokeness again, are you?
Don't poke the vegans, John. Don't poke the vegans.
No, he looks tasty. He looks good. That image, is that a photoshopped image? Where did that come from?
No, it's well, look. Some people have been saying it is photoshopped. Others are saying it's not. Look, I'm sure. Moyes, they've been out there. They've been out there with this guy. It hasn't all been done over teams. You know what David Moyes is like. Newman. This guy's been watched. They've had meetings face to face. So this is done. I'm sorry. Well, I'm happy to hang my hat on this. As far as I'm concerned,
I did hear yesterday that he was flying in for a medical today, but I've since heard that over the weekend it's to get the personal terms sorted, and then Monday or Tuesday you're flying. That's what.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be causing a lot of excitement. I think the interesting thing for me, as I said, is that the negative story that we spoke about earlier on in the show, I think this could be a catalyst now, and I'm hoping it's a catalyst for, get him in. I really do hope so.
Well, look. There is serious intent there, isn't there? There's serious intent now from the club to get players. It feels like that now.
Yeah. Can I test something out quickly? Right? Can I test my mute button because I'm drinking a lot of beer and I've got a lot of gas and I want to burp, and I don't want to burp into the microphone, so I'm going to press it now.
Remember, you've done that before, John.
I'm going to
hang on. I don't want to burp into my microphone, but I'm going to burp into a microphone.
That was when you were talking, wasn't it? That was when you were talking. Anyway, I'm going to go on mute and carry on talking. Can you hear me now? Did it work?
We can still hear you. No, we can still hear you.
Mate.
Fuck off.
No, we can.
You can hear me through that. That's me pressing mute.
Your mute button don't work, girl.
Rubbish mute.
So no burping like a fucking farm animal like you did last time.
Do you see if there's any comments regarding Scamacca?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, there's quite a few. A lot of them are picking up on your pronunciation. Scamacca is not done until Moyes agrees.
That's passed already. That point has passed already, Keith. He has agreed to it. We're moving forward.
John says, John, don't say that. I hear this guy could be another Zaza.
Well, look, listen, right?
Anyone's a risk. Anyone's a risk.
your Spurs supporting mate today, Ginger Sean on Twitter, Nick, he tweeted me and said, Scamacca's shite. You know, it's just like, well, what do these people know? They're just making, you know, I don't know. He doesn't look shit to me, put it like that. And he's an Italian international. You don't get into...
He's being salty. Look, Sean's bored. He tried to play football a few weeks ago, and he broke his ankle. Done his ACL. He's laid up in plaster. So he's a little bit bored, and he's getting a bit tasty on Twitter. That's
you should have told me. You should have told me. I would have sent him a bunch of arsenic.
But look, he seems to have the right profile. You do not play 7 times for the Italian national team if you're shit. You might play once.
Yeah, but he ain't scored yet. Yeah. He ain't scored yet.
No, but he's not been playing full games though, John. He gets brought off the bench. He's only just being brought into the team. So
yeah,
and he's different to anything else that they've got. He ain't going to disappear from their squad because he is a big target man.
No. So Daniella's put, this is on BBC Sports page. Is it true? Gianluca Scamacca, West Ham agree 30.5 million deal for Sassuolo striker.
Yeah.
Hammerhead's not happy with the board. Is he ever? It's the board's fault. We are one of the poorest clubs in the league. We need owners who would just pay the money. Yeah.
There is an element of that. There is an element of that.
There is an element of that as well. But I think, like we've just spoken about, Hammerhead, I don't think spending money in this window is an issue. I do think the reason that we take so long at the moment, that Moyes is a problem because he likes to wait. He likes to, you know, he does. He just likes to wait. You know, I don't know why. Because in our situation, I'm going to say it again, we should have had all of our signings queued up, ready for when that window opened. But for whatever reason, there's just no rush. There's no rush. Just wait because, you know, someone might get injured or, you know, we might need this. I don't fucking know what the reason is, but we never kick on quick. I don't know. And I don't think we ever will.
No, but I do think that the window, all transfer windows, whatever time of the year we're talking about, they only ever benefit agents and players because at the end of the day, it's them demanding the monies. And, you know, whilst we question how long it takes, and I get the frustration because I'd love players to come through the door, you do have to be a little bit, I'm not giving you that. Who do you think you are? I think you have to be a little bit strong sometimes. You know, I know the money that seemingly the club and the board and Moyes maybe, the amount of monies that they seem to dispute is minimal, right? And that makes it seem ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Or the payment methods or the amount, you know, I'll pay you back £1 a month for 27 years or something. That's the ridiculous nature of West Ham. But I don't mind due diligence over both the player and the contracts to some extent. But when it seems to be penny pinching, that's a little bit different.
Well, especially when you're desperate for players.
Yeah, but the clubs know you're desperate. I've seen videos of Scamacca, 6'5", skillful, fierce, fast shot. He will be a real handful.
Absolutely,
Richard's a little bit like me, you know, all these in the nose. The only thing I believe is what I see, and I'm a little bit like that. But Nick's adamant, and a few others are adamant, and it seems like it's sort of posted everywhere, really. Lawrence says, "Love this guy. We need some size with attack ability." Yeah. Jay Woods, Scamacca is a beast. Can't wait to see him do bits for us. Need Kostic, who Gary's going to cover later, to whip them balls into him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I think this guy's going to come, you know, the way he is and his mentality and his playing style and the pure size of him and his aggression. I think he's going to become a bit of a cult hero with us.
That's what I mean. I think he will. I think he's a type of player, character, that we are going to fall in love with. I do think he's that sort of player.
Do you think he could be the striker that stops fans talking about Haller?
What's that? Sorry.
What do you mean, Nick?
Do you think he's the type of striker that will stop people going on about Sebastian Haller in terms of the way we...
Absolutely. Oh, look, I'll tell you what, apart from anything else, as we're talking about Haller, we all heard the horrible news, didn't we? So I hope you... I think we'll not that he watches this channel, but I do wish him a speedy recovery. It's fucking horrible. Isn't it?
He's had he had successful surgery, didn't he? So hopefully he's on the road to recovery now. Yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah, absolutely. But no. Look, but the Haller thing was always going to be a problem while we hadn't replaced him, John. This is a replacement. It is a replacement. So
yeah. A lot of people saying you're calling him Michael Schumacher, Nick. Apparently it's Scamacca. Yeah,
but is that how you say it? I don't know. I've listened to Italian commentary and they said Scamacca.
Why did you listen to Italian commentary? You don't speak any word of Italian.
I was doing a bit of research and it was an Italian game, John.
Oh, you are. I'll tell you what, you are the ultimate professional. You are the best. I love you. I prefer Scamacca as a buy than Brozier as a 1 year loan. Yeah, I agree. The whole thing with Brozier being a loan to me is just a nonsense. I think you said it, Nick. Why would we take a player on loan to make that player better for his parent club?
Well, we're paying for the privilege of developing Chelsea's player for him. Why would we do that? We should be beyond that now, shouldn't we?
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree with you.
Completely beyond that. I was totally against doing that with Brozier. Buying him's one thing, loaning him's another.
Yeah. I think this is a good take on it here. Look, Phil Rigero, my Juve supporting cousins who live in Italy, all rate him and wanted him at Juve. So that could only
listen. Don't forget this guy was going to pick this. PSG were in for him.
Oh, really?
But they signed PSG were in for him, but they signed Ekatiki instead, didn't they? The other one that we was
they offered basically a ceiling price of 35 million for this guy, and for Scamacca, and we outbid him.
Yeah.
Sounds silly, but it shows that PSG will only pay a certain price, right?
Obviously, they don't see him as a first team player, do they? So he's Go on, John.
I want to sign this guy. He does look like an absolute beast of a striker, but he's totally right-footed. His left is just there for step overs.
That's fine. That's fine. He actually is completely right-footed. He last year he didn't score a single left-footed goal. But so what? As long as he's
just
right,
a couple of things about him.
If he scores 20 on his right, who cares about his left?
Exactly.
Just a couple of things with him. He's also very good with his head. Very accurate with his right foot, especially long shots. He seems to pass them into the top of the net with power from distance.
He's got a ridiculous shot on him. A ridiculous shot.
And you know the sign of a good striker in my mind is a striker that shoots early. He does that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one thing that used to irritate me with Haller, right? I thought he had very good technique. No, it did. But do you remember when he used to shoot? He used to draw his leg back. It was like a pendulum. It used to take about half an hour for him to actually strike a ball. Yeah. So it was his shots always got blocked. I think you can't get away with having a massive backlift not in the Premier League. You can't. You got to if you get an opening, you got to be able to get your shot away quick, haven't you?
Time is of the essence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Glyn reckons he's an international, or his dad will smash up a car.
Sullivan ain't taking his fucking roller to West Ham anymore, is he?
He's got bloody loads of them. Talking about Sullivan, Christopher Murphy reckons that maybe Scamacca's dad could take a baseball bat to Sullivan's car.
I'm sure he will if he upsets him.
Well, that would endear him with the West Ham fans, wouldn't it?
Well, if Moyes, imagine if Moyes don't pick him to play. You know how would his dad feel about that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, well, good.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
It looks interesting.
Look, it's exciting. So let's move on to the next one anyway. John, we go to you first. Go on, mate.
Oh, what, the players? Are you doing the
players?
Yeah. So obviously, after the JL debacle. We've been linked with this guy, Polish international, 28-year-old Peter Zielinsky. He's an attacking midfielder playing for Napoli at the moment. He's represented Poland at all levels, from under 15 up to senior level. He's got 72 caps and 9 goals. He started his career in Poland, obviously, but was spotted as a 17-year-old in an international youth tournament by Udinese. He's been there for a while. He was at Udinese for 3 or 4 years. He did spend he spent about 2 seasons on loan at Empoli, which is where he caught the eye, and which is where Napoli snapped him up for 16 million. He hasn't won many honours. He's won the Coppa Italia with Napoli in 1990-20 season. What was I going to say? Apparently, I don't know much about him, right? I'm not going to say I do, but I've read some scouting reports. Apparently, he's fantastic at dribbling. He's fantastic at laying the ball off. He likes to play quick, intricate passes. He does have weaknesses, namely his defensive duties and his aerial ability, which, if he does come to West Ham, obviously Moyes will try and put right. He's described by the scouts as being nimble, technically gifted, and he's at home in the middle. He's at home in the middle of the park, so an attacking midfielder, but can also be but is also comfortable on left or right wing. And I looked at him. I've been looking over his show reels as we do, and looking at his stats in the scout report, and he looks like an interesting character, And I think the fact that he's been in Italy for 10 years, he went over there when he's 17 again, shows a good desire of someone who wants to achieve. It's a very young age to go to a foreign country. Obviously, wouldn't be speaking the language. I like the look of him. I didn't know much about him until the last 48 hours, if I'm honest. But
he's a highly rated player.
Yeah, he's a very highly rated player. But I don't watch a lot of Italian football, if I'm honest. But he looks tasty, and if he's had 70 odd caps for Poland, Poland are no mugs, and
no,
they're a hard-working nation, and specifically in the footballing terms. So I think he's a hard-working player. I'd imagine he's got that sort of hard-working blood running through his veins, like a lot of Polish players have. So yeah, he looks good. You see much about him, Gal?
He's a tough player.
28. So he's coming into the prime, isn't he, technically?
Yeah. No, I don't know anything about him at all. I've not come across him at all. But an attacking midfielder with pace who's highly rated just ticks all my boxes.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? This does interest me though, because obviously, look, we're after Onana. We're still in for him. We've gone. Obviously, we know Lille's bid was Lille's ceiling was 50 million. That's what they're asking for. We've said 25. They've said no. We've gone 30. They've said no. We've gone in with 35, and apparently, they're going to come back and say no again. But we're still chasing this player. What I'm saying is, Onana and this player are two completely different. This is an overhaul of the midfield.
Yeah.
So if we're after Onana and this chap, that is an overhaul of completely of our central midfield, because they're not the same. They're not the same player. So it's not like we're going for him if we don't get Onana, because they're two different players.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, I think apart from maybe Bowen, generally our midfield and attacking is quite slow, and we ain't got any speed merchants, as I would call them. This guy looks quick. This guy looks like a proper winger. When he's running with the ball and dribbling, what I've seen of him, he looks like
he's got that low centre of gravity. He's powerful as well, isn't he? He's got that. Yeah. He's sort of quite ball-like. So, and that's what Lingard gave us in that spell when he came in. He could carry the ball from midfield. He could give us that quick. That's what he was great at. He would jog, and all of a sudden he'd be off on a sprint, wouldn't he? And you kind of we do miss that. We have missed it since he's not been there. Yeah. And this guy could fill that void, but it won't come cheap, will it? They're looking at between 30 or 40 million.
30 and 40 million again, but that seems to be the ballpark figure for anyone these days, doesn't it? 30, 40 million for a player. Is it a lot? Not in today's world, I don't think it is. And
no.
I think we need something different in midfield, and he looks that something different. He looks that direct, attacking, step over, dribbling, sort of typical winger that I think we miss a lot of. You've always said, Nick, and I agree with you, surprisingly, round pegs in square holes and vice versa, and we don't have a lot of wingers, if at all, in the team. And I think this guy looks like that,
Yeah, no, he does. Right, well, that's. Is there any comments on Zielinsky? There might be some people in the chat.
I don't think many people. I don't think many people know much about him, if I'm honest with you. But as I said, I didn't know much about him until the last 48 hours. Paul's asked me what's his name. Peter Zielinsky. I did say it, but I might have pronounced it wrong. What did someone say here? Oh, Hammerhead, mate. Getting ready to sell Souček if we get both, and I think he's alluding to the fact if we get Zielinsky and Onana, then they're going to sell Souček. Although Souček's got 2 in 2 in these 3 years.
My theory with Onana though, Hammerhead, is because look, Rice, we're all kind of accepted. He'll probably be gone at the end of next season. I think Onana is a long-term replacement for Declan Rice.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I think that. If you wanted to keep Rice or Souček, you choose Rice all day long. But let's be honest, next season or the summer, you can imagine that Rice is going to go. Let's be honest, we've all said
unless by some miracle we end up getting top 4, and then we've got bargaining chips. But
maybe epic cash time. Can you believe some fans still want to sell Souček?
Well, we can't sell him at the moment because we ain't got enough players. But if we do get him,
On Souček, apparently the club, Moyes has told Souček that he's very much in his plans. He doesn't want him to leave, and they've come to some agreement to have a talk about the wages. I guess later in the year. So I don't think
if we can up the right approach with Souček, because him coming to the club for a pay raise after that last season was a fucking joke. So I think what's happened is, and we know this, we've heard this as well. what's happened is Souček weren't happy. He wanted a certain amount of money. We were refusing to give it to him because he didn't deserve a pay raise. So what's happened is he said, I want to go then. So we've tried to tout him out to other clubs. There's no takers. So that's realigned his expectations. It's kind of reined him in a little bit. And I think what David Moyes is probably going to do, which is what he should do, is earn your pay raise. Prove that your year's spell that you had, where you was amazing, weren't a flash in the pan. Erase the last 12 months to 18 months. Get back to where you was, and we'll take your money up.
I think he's got to have a word with his agent. I think he's got to have a word with his agent, isn't he? He's got to have a word with his agent because, like you said, the time to negotiate wages would have been after that phenomenal first season.
Absolutely,
that he had. So his agent to go at the end of, let's be honest, a poorer season.
Yeah,
was a strange thing anyway, So
no, it was.
What about that, Nick? What about that, Nick? Imagine a three-man midfield of Onana, Rice, and Souček. What do you reckon about that, Gal?
Yeah, but that for me, for me is just defense. It wouldn't work because they're all central defense. People say Souček's an attacking midfielder. He ain't. Part of my problem when you play Rice and Souček together is that they are samey. I know Souček gives you that threat in the box, but they are very, very samey. It's like today against Luton. I know why we did that because we've got a weak defence. So they played Souček and Rice in there to shield the defence. Yeah. But you don't play with three central defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
No.
Go on.
Well, I'm just wondering where Downs fits into all this, right? Because
he's a backup, Gary. He's a backup.
Yeah, he is this season. But say Onana comes in and Downs comes in and he turns out to be more than a backup by the end of the season. We can end up seeing a central midfield of Onana and Downs next year.
Yeah, no, we could do. Yeah. But I think he's going to be. I think he'll be used this year, Downs, because he's a type of player that you introduce off the bench to kind of shut games down and stuff like that. In much the same way that we did with Noble. He's the same type of player. He's technically really, really good. And I like him. Like I say, he's fine. I really like him. Yeah, he's a brilliant.
I like him. When I saw him against Reading, I know it was only a friendly, so the result didn't matter. But I thought his performance was very, very good. And I said it in the review that I did. I mean, he was very Nobelesque the way he played. Very simple.
Yeah.
He's not all bells and whistles. He's not one of them players. He's not like a Zielinsky player. But he's going to put the tackles in. He's a bit of a stopper, and he'll keep the ball. He's a possession-based player. Yeah. He very rarely give the ball away, whether that means going sideways, forwards, or backwards. It doesn't matter. Keep the ball. And that's important.
Yeah. So, John, you haven't already shelled out for one of his boots, have you?
I might have to. Yeah. I might have to.
No more charity nights. No more charity nights for John.
No. They keep telling me two left. I've got two left boots now. No one tells me the right one.
That's the trouble, John. The arm keeps going up, doesn't it? The arm keeps going up.
It does, yeah.
Nick keeps poking me in the side. That's what happens. Zielinsky wins a lot of free kicks, and we score a lot from them. Yeah, he does win a lot of free kicks because he keeps the ball tight to his feet. He's quick. He's got good close control.
Yeah.
This is interesting about all this. Do you think these guys will be the switching tactics? Obviously, a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, they'll need to be. They'll need to be.
I think we'll come to that in a minute when we talk about Kostic.
Yeah, you're going to have to talk about Kostic and convince people.
I know. I'm going to have to make it up as I go along. But I've done some background research. But
did you not do your homework, Gary?
No, I've done some homework.
Oh, Gary spoke about him a lot before, though, so he must have a lot in his head.
But Kostic is not an unknown, right?
No, that's it. True. Right, I'm going to let you go for a minute because I've got to go and get another drink. Otherwise, I'm going to be coughing.
Yeah, I wish you would because you're driving me mad with that cough. No, just drink something for Christ's sake.
No, I ain't got COVID. I've tested myself. Right, go on.
Right,
crack on.
Philippe Kostic. He the Serbian international, aged 29. So you could say at the peak, or right in the middle of his peak, the higher end of his peak. Of his career at Frankfurt. This is someone who, for me, I badly want, right? If I could have a choice of, when we started talking about left wingers, I remember this guy and I thought, why aren't we going in for him? So when suddenly we're linked to him, I got really excited by this link. He is so good. Either in a left wing or a left wing back position. He's not a left back, right? He's not a left back, but he's either a left wing back or a left winger. Got pace. He scores goals. He scores cracking goals. He is so left-footed it hurts. He takes corners. He takes free kicks. He does everything. But the one thing above all else, when you look at his statistics, is, and I haven't got the numbers in front of me, right? So I'm going to make them up. But across his career, he's got something like 75 goals, which is bloody good for a winger, right? But he's got something like 130 or 140 assists. This guy, this guy, whenever he breaks down the left, which is frequently, he does something meaningful with the ball, right? He finds a player, right? More often than not, he finds a player. And you think back to, all those full storms with Ben Rama where we go on a brilliant break and he runs forward and he looks full of intent and then he fucks up the final pass, right? It happens time and time again. This guy is on a different level. He's on a different planet to Ben Rama. This is a top quality winger, and I would be so fucking delighted if we got this guy in.
You know what he is as well, and a little bit like the player I discussed is, the age is different, isn't it? These are well established international players who have played. They're not known for. If you think about Soufal, Soucek. If we go for Zielinsky, who I spoke about, if we go for Kostic, who you're talking about now, they're all from the same region, aren't they? They're all, from them.
He's Serbian, He's
Serbian, Croatian, Czechoslovakian. They're them types of players. And I know this guy's at, he's played in Holland and Germany, I believe. So he's had a good career already at 29, isn't he?
He's played largely in Germany. He played for 2 years in Holland.
Right.
And he played for a couple of years at the beginning of his career, actually in Serbia.
Yeah.
But he's played.
We played against him, didn't we?
he moved every second year until 2018. He's been at Frankfurt since 2018, so he's been there 4 years. He's got 1 year left on his deal, which is why we're able to nip in and try to get him over the line. But I must say, when you look at the sheer volume of assists that this guy delivers, and you watch some of his show reels, and they are show reels, but they are full of highlights. Ain't one of them show reels where they show the replay from 3 different angles. It's actually lots and lots of different, they're all slowed down to make it longer, right? This is a different highlight in every picture, right? This guy breaks down the left, finds his mate with a ball, breaks through the middle, finds his mate with a ball, takes a free kick, finds his mate with a ball. This is assist.
Do you know what he's
he can
not
score goals.
He ain't no left back. I mean, I know he can play left back.
I said that at the beginning, but you went to get a drink.
But we're buying him as an attacker, aren't we?
Yeah,
he is just pure and simple a left wing back or a left winger. He is not a left back.
Well, that's what Epic Hashtime has made a comment here. If Kostic is the new left back, we're screwed because he can't defend. Hopefully, he's the left winger, and we sign an actual fullback. So basically backing up what you're saying there, guys.
We saw a back five today. We saw Moyes experiment with a back five a few times last season. He likes a back five. I wouldn't be surprised if he's thinking about it. But the only thing I'd say is if you're going to play a back five, you've got to have players to play a back five. Because I don't mind the formation. Under Harry, we played back five for quite a while, and it was a great formation for us. It was really good. I don't mind it at all. But you've got players.
I think he plays a back five typically, Moyes, when we've got defensive problems.
Yeah, he does. He's a fullback. Yeah.
What about this one? This is a good question. So I like the look of him, and obviously we know a lot about Frankfurt, the team he's playing for now. Good side. Yeah. He's a good player. But this is a good question. How are we going to convince Kostic to go from Champions League football to Conference League?
Let's be honest, right? He's playing in Champions League with Eintracht Frankfurt. They're probably going to get knocked out in the group. If they and in the group they might drop down to the Europa League, or they might get completely knocked out. They ain't going to win the Champions League, are they? So it's a calculated risk. No. It's a calculated risk. What's he going to get? 6 games in the Champions League, and then it's all over.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. No.
It does depend. If he's happy in Frankfurt, then you wouldn't move because
I used to go to Frankfurt every other week. You can't be happy in Frankfurt.
What do we think about this comment from Hammerhead? Kostic is too old to come to the Prem.
29.
He's 29.
No, what he's saying there is 29's too old. He's going to need time to adjust. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying he's too old to come and get adjusted in good time. He'll be,
I think you might be right, but I think the money we're talking about, Pat, you're talking about an established player here, Hammerhead.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean, he's a proper established player 10 million. It ain't even a risk.
I think
Not really.
I think
It's not
Hammerhead
even a
would be
risk.
right in the context of us against Man City or something like that. But we don't play Man City every week. We play a lot of teams where we make a lot of chances, and the likes of Ben Rama, gets how he gets us off our seat, Ben Rama, because he's clean through with the ball down the left hand side. What's he going to do with it? What's he going to do with it? Oh, he's fucked it up.
Yeah.
This guy will not fuck it up.
I'll just stay seated now when Ben Rama runs down the left with a ball. There's no point. You're going to be sitting down in a minute anyway.
You're nasty, man. You are nasty.
Go on.
You're always picking on Ben Rama. Leave him alone. Kostic was Frankfurt's best player versus us. Assists galore.
Yeah.
He's a class player, but never a left back. No, we agree.
No,
he's an amazing winger, stroke left wing back. Brilliant.
Kent Hammers has got some good stats as well. Over 40 assists in 4 seasons. At Frankfurt.
Does he take all their set pieces?
Yeah, he takes all of them. He takes corners, he takes free kicks, he takes everything. Yeah.
Right, okay.
He tore West Ham apart.
Yeah.
Hammerhead don't seem to be a fan. I don't think he will work in the Premier League.
Well,
hang on, I've got to put you on mute because I've got a peanut stuck in my throat. I'm going to die.
I'd rather listen. I would rather have him.
John's having an anaphylactic shock in the background. Don't die, John. His video's gone.
He's gone. I'd rather have Kostic. Look, listen, 29. I'm sorry, and for 10 million. If it was more than that, if you're talking sort of 20 million, 30 million, then no, you wouldn't do it. But we've only got 150 million to spend. We need. We can't go spending 30 or 40 million in every position, can we?
No, I think this is a lot of value. The only reason he's costing 10 million is because he's in the last year of his contract, right?
Yeah.
So this is a steal.
And look, he's an incredibly fit guy as well. There's no, and at the end of the day, right? I mean, Jesse Lingard's more or less the same age. These not every player, if they look after themselves and they condition themselves well, they don't all lose their pace the minute they tick 30. Do you know what I mean?
Look, Mark singing from your hymn sheet, Nick. Kostic to replace Benny on the left wing and bringing the left back to replace Cress.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I think even if Kostic don't come in, Antonio's going to be replacing Ben Rama on the left. Yes. That's what'll happen.
Really? Yeah.
That's what'll happen. Yeah. The only thing that I would say is, do you know, I'm gonna defend Ben Rama now because because if, like I say, if I would like to at least see Ben Rama given a go in a team where he's surrounded by good players, where he's got a natural striker in front of him, making natural movement, good, intelligent runs. Because I think that Ben Rama is potentially a top player, and I think he deserves a go. I think he's more of a central player in that number 10. He can carry the ball. He can pick a pass. He's got plenty of assists. I'm not saying that it would go well. I don't know, because it hasn't done for him so far. But I think he's got enough ability for me to be curious to see if it did come off. He needs to be given a go.
I agree. Ben Rama needs to be given a go in the centre, right?
In the centre, yeah.
In the centre and even Vlasic, I think, needs to be given a go in the centre. He looks better in the centre. Right?
He looks better. I'm not sold on Vlasic.
No, I know you're not, nor am I. But I'm just saying those players are all central players, right? But think about this for a moment, right? If we played 3 centre halves at the back and wing backs, imagine having Kostic on left wing back and Antonio in front of him.
Yeah. I think
and a striker,
mate. Gal. I think what you said a minute ago was 100% right. Moyes likes the 3 centre backs or 5-3-2-3, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But you're right. With the right players, it can work. And unfortunately, I love Cresswell, but he was getting exposed, wasn't he? And we didn't have the right players for that system. Yeah. But I think I like that system. I enjoy that system. And if he brings in the players,
wing backs, Yeah, but the thing is, then you've got to add a right wing back, because Soufal ain't good enough as a wing back. He ain't got the pace to get back. He'll get forward, he lumbers upfield, and he's got a good delivery on him, but he ain't got the pace to get back. So if you're gonna
you've got 3 centre halves, then...
well, you know who our best right wing back would be.
It's got to be Ashby.
Harrison Ashby.
It's got to be Ashby. Yeah,
I really like that kid. I really like him.
And do you know, from what I saw of him today, did you see the sort of little interplay?
He played on the left.
But the interplays between him and Coventry, I thought they played some of the best football.
Yeah, he's a confident lad. He's a confident lad. He could slip
He
in.
played all right today. I wouldn't say he's magnificent, but he did a good job. He was faultless without being brilliant, but I think he looks very solid and very assured. He's one of them.
He was another square. He was another square peg in a round hole, though, John. He was on the wrong side.
Yeah, today. I know, but
Andy,
it's a
Andy Dennis
is friendly, Nicholas.
I know.
Andy Dennis is calling us out here. Look, he's saying, look, Soufal is a class.
How is he?
Right
Really? He's not.
Andy.
But Andy's right. He has got great attacking. You know, he's So the modern day right wing back is probably more attacking than defensive. I know he has to get back,
but he hasn't got
true.
But he has no recovery pace.
No, but if you've got 3 centre halves sitting behind him, then it's less important to get back as quick because you've got 3 defenders already waiting.
Yeah,
I mean, try and get back, but
was he or was he not being outpaced against Luton today?
Well,
yeah, he was.
You saw that,
he
didn't
was
you?
over and
He
over
was.
again. He was getting
Over and over again.
outpaced
He was getting roasted.
Yeah.
What's this one here from Victor? He's not having it. Talk is Kostic is not convinced about coming to West Ham and giving up.
I think that's probably more of a rumour than anything else.
Yeah, that was the rumour earlier, but I heard that it had moved on to that, and we've been given now permission to go and actually talk to the player. Right, that's the next step.
This is one of those scenarios where the only thing that we've got to offer him is bucks. We would have to pay him serious money for him to come in. And at 29, he's approaching that part of his career where you'd be thinking he's looking for a big deal.
Yeah. He's seen the writing on the wall, and he's got a choice of 6 Champions League games, losing to everyone every week, or a big fucking payday at West Ham. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I agree with this with Chris Harris. It's because I poo-pooed.
We was talking about this earlier, weren't we? On WhatsApp.
Yeah. That's my fault. But the fact is, because it's only 10 million. Because look, Sullivan ain't going to get credit from Frankfurt no more, is he? They're not going to allow him to do his Littlewood's payment scheme anymore. So it will have to be an upfront, and I'm sure we can front 10 million. You know,
they've insisted on used fivers.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, what's this one here? Hang on, what's this one? I think someone's having a. Oh, yeah. Hammerhead's talking to Andy Dennis in the chat. He says, Andy Dennis, he can't defend. It's like Trent at right back. Now, I'm not being funny, but I'd love to have Trent at right back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but Trent is a proper. He's got pace. Trent Alexander, he's got pace as well. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, with what we've got is in Johnson. Johnson is a superior defender to Soufal. He's a superior defensive right back. I would say that he's not very good going forward. Johnson. Soufal was better going forward. I think from what I've seen of Ashby, I'm hoping is going to be the answer on that side.
Yeah. Johnson and Soufal together, that'd be a great combination, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mark Alexander, Kostic as left wing and Aguerd as left back.
No.
Well, Aguerd's going to be out for a while. Probably.
No. It's funny you say that though, because apparently he can play there.
Yeah, I know he can play there. I know I've seen he's played there, but
not for the last few years. He hasn't. He's been the centre back.
Yeah, look, against Man City, 2 games time, Moyes will be playing a back 5. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll be playing a back 10 against them, won't we? Let's face it, against Man City.
Well, don't worry about that, mate. Dawson's going to handle Haaland. Yeah? Get Dawson on Haaland, mate.
Where is Dawson though? Where is Dawson? Where is Oggy?
Yeah, and Oggy. Didn't Oggy play in the under-21s?
He did play in the under-21s, so that suggests that there's a bit of fitness coming.
Well,
but where's Dawson? Dawson is AWOL.
West Ham under-23s are playing against Dagenham and Redbridge next Saturday. I'm going to go because apparently some of the older players who are trying to get fitness are going to be playing. So
I'll report back on Oggy.
Maybe Oggy's there, maybe Dawson's there. Dawson might be getting his hair done. You know what I mean?
Get a selfie with Dawson if he's there, right, John? Because you need that.
I don't need a selfie, mate. He sends me WhatsApp messages all through the night. What are you talking about? Look, Kostic would be a great addition, wouldn't he? You know, it'd be brilliant. So
he would be. Right, okay. I'm just going to sort of quickly run us through the rest of the players that, the main players that we're linked with. As we know, David Rahm, that deal is now off. He's on the verge of joining Leipzig for 30 million. He didn't come out and slam us at all. Basically, when he was questioned, he said he's settled in Germany first of all, and he said he would prefer Champions League football. He didn't say anything bad about West Ham. He didn't say he didn't rate us or anything like that. I don't know where that rumour came from. He didn't say that. He just wanted to stay in Germany. Fine.
Yeah. Good luck to you, Dave.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously we know about Kostic. The other one, if Kostic doesn't come off, we're linked with Borna Sosa. Apparently, there's inquiries been made about him. He's a Croatian left wing back, much in a similar sort of. He's a similar sort of player, younger than Kostic. But this, do you remember I did a review on Borna Sosa in January, and I called him. I basically said he was like Masuaku. He was rubbish. But he's been brilliant ever since then. Man City are apparently in for him. He's. I don't think we've got any chance of getting him, but we are keen on him.
Did you hear that we were in for Pepe from Arsenal?
No, I didn't see that.
I heard that little.
That's been reported in a couple of places today. 140 grand a week, Pepe.
I hope not.
That's the one they paid 70 million for.
Yeah, I don't want Pepe. Yeah. Pepe can go. He was himself. I don't want him. Yeah, I don't want him.
There is someone else who we're linked with. Who this one does interest me. Because as we all know, Leicester. I didn't realise until a few days ago. Leicester have got financial bother.
Really?
So they need to sell players now. They're after selling their left back, young left back, 21-year-old Luke Thomas, and we've been linked with him. And he's a superb player. Yeah, superb player. But they want 20 million for him, which is quite high. But then you've got your left back sorted for the next 10 years, haven't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that one as well at left back. As I mentioned earlier on, we're still in for Onana, and we're just waiting for what's your name? We're just waiting for Lille to reject our latest offer. So yeah, that's the third offer that's gone in. The Dennis and Sarr rumours, they're not going to go away. But they're the same West Ham are eyeing a 40 million swoop for Sarr and Dennis story that can be found replicated at Everton, Newcastle, Southampton. So clearly, look, it's just the agents, driving these stories, desperately trying to shift a couple of players. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in that. I really don't. I don't think we're going for them. The Brozier deal I read today in a couple of places actually. It could reportedly still go ahead, even if we do get Scamacca in the form of a loan. But apparently Tuchel would insist on a recall clause in this if he wasn't going to be the main man, because if he's underutilised, Tuchel would want to be pulling him back. What he's saying is, I'm not going to send him on loan to you to not play.
But that makes sense though. If you send someone out on loan, you send them out on loan to gain experience. So from
cheeky bastards, aren't they?
Yeah, but from Chelsea's point of view, you don't send someone on loan for them to sit on the bench. It's pointless. It is. I agree with that from their point of view. That's quite normal in loan clauses. That's quite normal, I think.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that because look, he will get games. We've got a big program of games. He will get games.
Yeah,
unless Moyes wants to. Bring in Scamacca and Kostic and set up a first 11 and only play that first 11 like he did with the last first 11 last year. If he's, my hope comes from what Moyes did early in last season, where he did rotate. Yeah, because before we had a load of injuries, he did rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
in the early stages of the European competition.
Yeah, and if he does, and so if he's going to do that again, Brozier will get some games if we could loan him, and I don't mind as long as we can sign a striker like Scamacca, and we ain't just depending on a loaner, right?
Yeah,
I'm happy to have him on a loan. Yeah,
yeah. Can I just ask a question? How do we ban people in the chat? Anyone know?
What's that?
Who we got?
Well, because Michael Brennan, who hasn't said a word all night, has decided. No, don't laugh, Nick, because this is a very touchy subject, right? He hasn't said a word all night. As soon as I bring up Dawson, he starts telling me he's going to Birmingham. And then he says, Johnny's gone, mate. To be honest with you, mate, Brennan, you got to carry on, son, because you out of towners. You need to stop commenting on West Ham United, all right?
to be fair though, John, I have read that he does want to go back up for family reasons. He wants to go back closer to
after
home.
the best season of his career. I know. Must be quite a bad family reason.
Yeah, but look. At the end of the day, John, I suppose the way you've got to look at it from Dawson's point of view, we've bought in Aguirre, we've got Ogbonna's back. He's going to be fourth choice. He ain't going to play. So maybe he
will play.
He came to the club as fourth choice.
He will play. He will play.
Maybe even fifth choice. But as Gary said, we've got a lot. You got 3 cup competitions in the league. You need him. We can't.
Hey, do you feel like it was a little bit harsh for David Moyes' first signing after the season that that Dawson had was to. I mean, I'm glad we got Aguero. Well, I'm not because he's injured.
No, because he's got to think of the future, isn't he? He's got to think of the future.
Yeah,
it wasn't a bad thing to do, but when you look at it, you know, is Dawson going to get a chance? Well, Aguero's already injured, and how long do you give Zuma?
well, Zuma was limping already in that game, wasn't he?
Yeah, Zuma.
I mean, that guy is so immobile. I've noticed that he looks like he's running in treacle, doesn't he?
Nick, can I just remind you of what you said after Aguero got injured? You brought up he had a bad ankles history. He hurt his ankles in the past. What did you call these ankles?
No, listen, it's true. He's had the same ankle injury, right? And I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. He's had the same ankle injury now. This is the third time in 3 years. So Aguero officially has wankles. That's what he's got. He's got wankles, and we got the other one. He's sent a centre back partner with a floating kneecaps, Zuma. So yeah, they're a right wing double. But look, I think the only other thing that we need to talk about, well, we don't need to talk about it because it was a shit game, really. Do you want to talk about the Luton game?
Yeah.
Well, you got to touch on it, yeah.
Yeah, go on in, touch on it, Gal.
Go on, Gal.
I thought it was very, very mediocre. I thought the players looked like they were operating at maybe 70%. I don't think they were really getting stuck in or really driving. You know, they were treating it like a friendly. It was definitely a friendly. There were no big tackles flying in or anything like that, was there? So I thought early on in the first half, Luton looked the more likely to score. We eventually got hold of the game. We scored a decent goal from the magnificent Thomas Souček, rose like a salmon to head the ball home from a Cresswell. What a
cross, though.
What a great cross, but what a fantastic header from that. He's amazing, that Souček, isn't he, John? And from that point on, we completely controlled the first half, didn't we? And comments on the first half.
Yeah, I think Souček found his level today. I think he did really well. You know, playing against Barry the Baker and Pat the Postman in central midfield. He was really good.
Listen, have a little bit more respect for Luton Town Football Club, Nick. They nearly got promoted last year, mate.
I know.
And
I'm only messing around.
Did you see those pictures?
He did play well. He played well.
Did you see those pictures from our fans from the away terrace or turnstile or whatever, right? You have to actually, I've never been to Kenilworth Road.
Go through terraced houses.
You go for, you actually walk through. There's like stairs that go over people's back gardens. So people have got a back garden. At the end of it is a football stadium.
You wave at them as you go by.
Yeah. You actually the sort of walkway to get to the stand goes over their gardens.
Bloody hell.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Look, I know people against Rangers the other day. Social media went off, didn't it? They are just friendlies, aren't they? They are just pure. Yeah. I know it sounds boring. You like to see good individual performances. The result is irrelevant, right? But also, you know, in some ways, as much as you like to see good performances, when our weak spots are
exposed,
couldn't think of the word then, like Cresswell was at Rangers. Look, I've been Cresswell's biggest fan for years, and I'm very loyal to West Ham players. He's been great for us, but I think now that Cresswell, after these friendlies, he needs to be back up left back, which pains me to say it. I'm just so loyal to these players.
I totally agree. And look at Antonio. You know, as far as playing as Antonio as a striker, he's missed 3 1-on-1s in 3 games.
Do you know what? Wasn't it worth watching? It was worth watching that game today, though, just for that left foot shot. Did you see it? The one that he changed. It's fucking brilliant, wasn't it? See Lanzini turn around, throw his arms in the air. Like, fuck's sake. What is the point? What is the point? I'm going home. He does it all the time, doesn't he? He can't do that in training. He must just panic. He snatches, doesn't he?
Is that the one that went like 20 yards over the bar?
Yeah.
So bad. It was so bad.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, Nick, you're cracking up at Antonio. I just won't laugh at him. You're out of order, mate. You are
look, listen, you know I love Antonio. You know I do. I've defended him to the hilt. And I think he's a really important player. I'll tell you what, he actually put one of the best, apart from Cresswell's one. I think he's outside of Cresswell, probably one of the best crossers of the ball in the team. Yeah. I think he's wasted down the middle because that is not his position. Yeah. He's a winger. You play him wide.
Yeah, you two think you've got it bad watching it on YouTube, and that Kent travelled 1,400 miles the last 2
I know. Fucking hell, you are diehard, Kent. I mean, that is.
Did you see for the Rangers game that father and son whose train broke down in Preston, and they jumped in a cab from Preston to Glasgow, paid 450 quid in the cab to go from Preston to get to the game on time.
Oh my God! See, that's dedication. I mean, I used to really struggle. I used to really struggle over the summer when there was no football, and so when it comes to new season, I used to go to all the friendlies, right? And this is like late 80s, early 90s. I used to go to all the friendlies, and one day I found myself at Aldershot. And I was looking around, and I was looking on the pitch and seeing these players just jogging around. And I thought, "What the fuck am I wasting my time here?"
Yeah, but you've got to take them for what they are. Like,
no. Listen, I understand why people do it because I was like that once, but I just changed. I changed. So I've been to a few testimonials and stuff like that, but that's as much as or the cup that we always lose the week before the season. What's it called? The Betway Cup.
The Betway.
I usually go to that friendly, but it's others I struggle with.
Are we talking about that competition? Have we made it to the final this season?
I think we made it to the final. I think the final must be away to Lons next week.
Lawns? Was it?
I thought that was delaying it. I thought they was delaying the Betway Cup final until further into the season. I thought they were, yeah.
Ginger Sean was raving about
World Cup break or something.
Ginger
Sean was raving about Spurs winning the Audi Cup earlier.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, they've got to cling on to anything, haven't they? That's it. Let's face it.
Absolute mugs. Absolute mugs, isn't they? He's gonna. You know what the thing is, right? I'm not gonna lie. They have spent well. They've bought a lot of players.
They have.
Wouldn't it be great if it all went?
Don't start being nice about them. Yeah.
Look. At the end of the day, right? Conte. I'm going to say this now. Conte's record and his character. That says that man and the way that they're backing him. It says that he's going to be successful at Tottenham, right? Yeah. But don't forget, Jose Mourinho has won a trophy everywhere he's been.
Yeah, but when he went to Spurs. Did you not
apart from when he went to Spurs?
You know, Conte's got that reputation of being somewhere 2-3 seasons, right? Because he runs the players in
two.
Yeah, two seasons.
Never been longer than 2 seasons anywhere.
Did you see what he was? Did you see how hard he was working the Spurs players the other day? They was doing 40 laps after training. They was doing ridiculous amount of laps around the pitch.
This is why he won the title with Chelsea, for instance, and then the following season he went to Abramovich, even though he already had a championship winning team. He went to Abramovich and wanted to spend a fortune, right? And Abramovich basically said, "No, you're not on." And by this point, which is kind of where he's going to be with Spurs. By this point, the Chelsea players fucking hated him.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it takes your toll, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, give it a while. Just sit back.
You can only whip people for so long.
Yeah, like when the player that should not be named scores a winner against us when we're away to Forest in the second game, right? You just let him have their day in the sun. Let them have their day in the sun, right? Let Spurs have their day in the sun. We know it's a beautiful thing when Spurs think they're going to win the league and then suddenly it all goes tits up, right? Because they build themselves up so much, don't they?
Going back to that Forest game, right? I know it's nasty, but I want to see him I want to see 2-footed tackles flying all over the place at him, aimed at him from everywhere.
Did you see that?
I would have caught in the middle of two 2-footed tackles.
I'll tell you what. Did you see that tweet? Which I thought was fantastic. This tweet to come out, right? Someone attached a video to it. He said, "It's a Forest fan said when we're 4-0 down at half time against West Ham," and he's posted a video of someone saying, "Do you want me to do some rapping?"
What was it? What was the tweet that you said? Where it was going back and forth. Where we were getting stick from Forest fans and some West Ham fans piped up. No, it was Jesse Lingard, and he just posted, "I've got your watch." That's all he said. Great tweet. But yeah, I'll fuck Lingard anyway. We've gone back to it again.
Yeah. Stop mentioning him. He cannot be mentioned.
I know. Fucking just drives me mad. He does.
You put him up again. Why do you keep putting him up?
But yeah, right. Okay. So look, that's that done. That's that done anyway. So right, we're gonna have a QA now. So throw some questions in the chat if you've got anything that you want us to discuss. But before we do that, myself and John, we grew up together in East London, in Mile End.
Don't mind me.
And our good mate Mark Flannery, he's we've all good mates, all grown up together. His daughter Keira, she's they've been lifelong season ticket holders, and she was playing for Arsenal ladies for how many years? It was quite a few, wasn't it?
She signed for them when she was 7, I believe.
She signed for them when she was 7, but she's literally always been a West Ham season ticket holder, and she's 17 now, and she's basically got invited to West Ham to speak to Paul Konchesky. They found out that she was a West Ham fanatic, and they found out who her favourite player was. And when she walked into the meeting with Paul Konchesky, they had Keira Flannery, which is her name. They had the shirt hanging up with the number 41, which was Declan Rice's number, and that was literally it. So I'm going to play this video. Keira Flannery, she's 17, and she's class, isn't she?
Oh, she's
fucking phenomenal.
fantastic.
She's captained England.
She's England under 16s, I think it is.
Yeah.
Honestly,
like I say,
she's phenomenal.
She's 17. You're going to be seeing her in the first team soon.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. But here she is. And one more before I do that. Look at
Keira, massive congratulations on signing for West Ham. I've also heard you've chose my lucky number, 41. Hope it goes well for you. Hope you play well, and good luck. All the best, and hopefully can meet you soon.
Oh, that's superb, isn't it?
Superb.
I'll tell you what a fucking dream for her, because she's such a avid West Ham supporter. And Mark as well, because Mark just loves West Ham, doesn't he? He loves West Ham.
They're all over the moon, and they've all worked so hard over the years to sort of, because they both work full-time jobs, Mark and Carly, and they've always managed to sort of complete commitment, getting a to and from training. And it's
a big commitment, not just for the kids or the players, but also the parents. The
parents.
Even their home training was a long way away from where they live, as you know.
But yeah, I'm really proud of her. I'm really proud of her. Like I say, Keira came and trained. I managed my son's football team. When I first took him over, I was completely clueless. Now I'm only partially clueless. But when I first took him over, Keira used to come over and help train the boys for me. So yeah, well done, Keira. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah,
just
well done.
one interesting fact about that is that although she played for Arsenal, she used to wear a West Ham kit under the Arsenal kit. So
she didn't want it touching her skin.
Yeah, I know that sounds terrible. We can play it now because you don't play for Arsenal anymore. But that's how much of a West Ham fanatic she is. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, right, John. Any?
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions. Some of them not football relevant, but we're going to answer any questions.
Right,
the first
I'm just going to nip away for 2 minutes, right? I need a toilet break.
Yeah.
Oh, number 1 or number 2? What are you doing?
Number 2, I think.
Oh, for the love of God. There we go. Daniela Stewart. Nick, take that Luton stuff down. Here's a question. What is your least favourite ground to go to? I can answer that straight away because I hate going to this place. I know it's full of tradition and all that. Fulham. I hate Fulham Stadium because every time I've been to Fulham, it's the away end is very open. And you're right by the River Thames. And every time that I've been to Fulham, the weather's been terrible. And you've just been hit by the rain, the wind. It's just freezing every time I've been. Unluckily for me, I haven't been to any of the August games or the summer games over there. Every time I've been in the winter months. And I just don't like Fulham's because of that. I just feel exposed to the weather. So, Nick?
Least favourite ground to go to. I've got to be honest. Do you know what? I hated Man United. I've been there. I just hate the way they put you up in the fucking gods.
Yeah, do you remember that time we went there in the cup?
Yeah. But probably Man United, just because of where they put you. You fucking, the players are like ants, aren't they?
Yeah. Then again, now you've said that, you made me remember St James's Park because they put you right. They put you right up in the gods. What is the point of that? I mean, that is ridiculous. Should we wait for Gary with his favourite one, or will he take a long time?
Nah, if he's having a Tom tit, he's going to be a while. Go on, next one.
Not football relevant, but I like this question. What's your favourite biscuit?
It's got to be for me. I'd go for a dark chocolate digestive.
Oh, so you're a man of class. I mean, they're quite expensive as well. So
Yeah. It's got to be McVitie's as well, John. No fucking rip-offs. It's got to be.
No, mate, go Lidl. Lidl do some great copies. My favourite biscuit, ginger nut. I love a good old ginger nut because I like the fire in the back of your throat that it gives you. You know,
gives you a little bit of a kick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes you feel a bit. You know, I've had something substantial here. You know.
Yeah. Gary's is a Gary Baldy, so
Gary's is a Gary Baldy. Anything to do with Gary, exactly. That. Richard Stevens says, any thoughts who will be in the bottom three by Christmas? I think it's obvious for me. It's obvious for me.
Go on. Do you think Forest will be in there, or do you think they'll have enough?
I think the three that come up for me are always going to be like the bookies automatically put the three that come up as favourites to go down, right? And sometimes you think that's a bit harsh, but I think in this instance, I think the three coming up, is it Fulham, Bournemouth and Forest?
That's it. Yeah.
I think reasons are Fulham haven't spent a lot of money at all. They're relying on what's his name, the striker? Bloody hell, forget his name.
Mitrovic, who's shit in the Premier League.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to transfer from the Championship to the Premier League, right? You've then got Bournemouth, who they do all right. Scotty Parker's the manager, so we love Scott Parker. I wish him well, wish him all the best, but I can't see it. And with Forest, just because of the amount of players they've had to bring in, because they had a lot of players on loan last year, Forest. People forget when Cooper went into Forest, they were right on their arse. And he just...
You're right. They lost 3 key players, apparently, John.
When? Now?
Forest lost 3 key players from last season's promotion team.
Yeah, because the keeper left. The keeper got promoted. What's his name, the keeper? He got promoted to the Premier League with him and decided he wanted to leave. That was the strangest move ever. I don't understand that. I think it was a moral thing or something. And one of their key set-piece takers went back on loan to whoever they got him on loan from. But I just think bringing in that many players, 11, 12 players, is far too much. Yeah. And I think the Jesse Lingard thing could backfire.
You need a lot of fucking luck, don't you, when you bring in that many players? You need
too much. Far too much.
In summary, Jesse Lingard. Oh no, let's call him something else. What can we call him? It's
I don't want to keep saying I
don't want to mention him by name, right? He's going to be
just call him a wanker because that's what he is.
Yeah, all right. But he's going to be
absolute wanker.
Come the end of the season, he's going to be camping outside the front door of David Moyes' flat in Docklands, begging him for a deal.
Yeah.
One question that somebody asked. I can't find it because it was ages ago in the chat.
Yeah.
And I've seen it on social media. What do you think of fans who are suggesting we should take fake money to the City ground and throw it at him and all that?
No, don't give him the attention.
Do you know what? I'm of the opinion now. I'm of the opinion now that we we should only abuse him. We should only abuse him when it looks like we've won the game, and that's what you don't want to do, because you know what? Even going back to the West Ham fans pissed me off a little bit. No, but they pissed us West Ham fans when I went to the game last time with Man United. When West Ham fans were singing about just before he scored against us. Do you remember?
It was really embarrassing. It was really embarrassing. I hated that. I
agree.
Jesse Lingard, he wants to come home.
You never support a fucking an opposition player like that. No way.
Absolute
no way.
Joke. So what's your bottom three by Christmas? You two, go on, because we ain't all answered. Only I've answered that one.
Sorry, who got promoted apart from Forest and Fulham?
Bournemouth. And Bournemouth.
You know that you know that what's his name? Our former right back. What's his name? Fredericks. He's struggling. He might not make the first game. He's injured.
Oh no! Right. I like Fredericks. So I like
Fredericks, but he's so injury prone it hurts, right? So listen, if I was to choose, I don't think I know you're gonna shoot me down with this, right? But I don't think Brentford are gonna have it all their own way this season, because second season syndrome and all that. We see it quite a lot with teams who come up and have a good first season and they struggle like hell in the second.
Who's that?
In the second season, Brentford.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll get relegated, but I see Bournemouth going down again. I see Everton being there or thereabouts because they've signed nobody and they struggled. They only just about got away with it last year. In fact, they only signed nobody. They've sold their best striker.
Did you see they got thumped 4-0 in America by DC United? I think it was.
Yeah.
Really?
So Frankie Lampard, you know, he likes to set records. Well, he could be the first manager to get Everton relegated. He only just missed out on that record last year, didn't he? And it could happen again. So if I was to pick a few teams, right, I'd say Everton, third from bottom. I'd say Forest, second from bottom. And I would say Fulham, bottom.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't see beyond the 3 coming up, if I'm honest.
I'm going to go Fulham, Bournemouth, and Spurs. Get relegated. Fucking, they're going. Because do you know what? Look, it could happen. You know, Conte's. It could happen. Conte's mental. He's explosive. It could. If they lose their first 2 games, he's going to shit and stamp in it on the sidelines. You know, fucking throw Kane's crayons at him. It's all going to go wrong. It could happen, you know.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
as soon as
Conte is potentially he's a mood hoover. He can suck the fucking mood out of a room.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. It could go wrong for him. Yeah, Tottenham are getting relegated next year.
Apparently, you know, going back to what I said earlier about the players at Chelsea and the way they hated him, so did they at every single other club as well that he's ever been at in season 2, right? Because they get sick of that regime that he puts in place. And if Spurs are not getting the results, because there's a lot of pressure on Spurs, they might have signed a load of players and all that, but there's a lot of pressure on them to achieve. It is now expected that they will achieve, right?
Oh yeah,
and
obviously.
and if they suddenly find themselves 5th place in the league, or not doing so well in the Champions League, or something like that, the pressure is going to be heaped on. Conte will react by getting the players to do an extra 50 laps after training, right? That's the way he is. He has no relationship with the players. He treats them as his underlings, right? He treats them like dirt. So it's fine when it's going well, but you're right. As soon as it goes tits up, then
bad. It's spectacularly wrong.
Yeah. And he will not be there at the start of next season.
So you agree Spurs are going to get relegated next year, yeah?
Well, I don't think they're going to get relegated, but I don't think it's going to be the season of dreams. I think it is. I think they've already had their good season with him. That was season 1.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think they're going to be good this year. They're going to be probably 3rd. I think they'll be.
You're
third
just covering your bases and being nice, just in case it happens.
Not being nice. No. I personally, with the way that they've invested, they never backed Mourinho. Mourinho needs backing. They never did that. They're backing Conte. He's getting players.
But they won't back him twice. They won't back him twice, which is why at the end of this season, when Conte wants to spend even more, you know, Daniel Levy is just going to say, "No, mate, I've backed you already. That's it. You've got all you're getting." Conte's tastes were even too rich for Roman Abramovich.
What's that?
His tastes after the first season where they won the league. His tastes in that summer where he wanted to go out and build yet again, they were even too rich for Roman Abramovich's tastes.
Yeah, no, I know. But I don't think it's just money. I think it's because of his character. I think he just grinds on people, you know. And he demands.
There's a good one from Mandy, right? Leeds are going to struggle.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Because they've got, what's his name? They've still got the American in charge of them, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and you know Americans don't do well in Premier League, apart from the guy who's on Amazon Prime, who's on Apple TV, Ted Lasso. Yeah, Ted Lasso. Yeah. Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham. Don't see Southampton, but Bournemouth and Fulham definitely.
Southampton won't go. Yeah. We've got a question here, Gary. Right, with it's from Mark Alexander. With the money spent over the years not interfering with transfers, stadium starting to feel like home and out, unreal progression plus investor. Is it time for the GSB out to take a rest? I think it has, isn't it?
I think it has completely. I don't think anyone's saying it anymore, Mark.
I think they're almost irrelevant now. You know,
I think they are, which is what owners should be. Owners should be irrelevant.
You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. If things start going south, they know this. That's the reason why I think the Scamacca news was pushed out, because, like I said, Sullivan was like, quickly fucking put out some good news. He's worried people are sharpening their pitchforks. So
I do think that. Yeah, I agree, but I do think Sullivan has set up his landing zone for Birmingham City. I think that will happen at some point. So I don't think they'll be around forever anyway. But yeah, when you're talking about the anger and the GSB out and all that sort of stuff. Well, for a start, I think it's a little bit pointless because they'll go when they want to go. We ain't going to force them out.
Yeah.
And secondly, again, you've got to put a big caveat into this statement around they moved us to the London Stadium and basically fucks us all over and stuff like that. But then again, that is now turning around, and some of those nights in that stadium last year were amazing, fantastic. Even some of the days, right? So I think all in all, when you look at it, we've been a very stable club, apart from a couple of, what is it, 2 relegations or 1 relegation? I think it was 2, wasn't it?
So,
yeah, 2 relegations. That, you know, apart from that and a few bad managerial appointments and everything else, I think we've been one of the more stable basket case clubs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's right. What about this one, John? If you could go back in time before you were born, which West Ham match would you like to have attended?
Any of the ones that we won a trophy, because I haven't seen any of them apart from the Toto Cup. So I'd say 1980 FA Cup Arsenal, because
and I was
before you were born.
I was born, but I know, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you were alive, so you got to go before.
Oh, okay. So I'll go back to the one after that. Before that, then 1975.
Yeah. See, I'd go back to the first. What I'd go back to would be the European Cup Winners' Cup game in 1965, which I missed out on 4 years against 1860 Munich. You know, which was back then the Cup Winners' Cup was the second biggest European trophy, arguably one of the biggest. You know, it was kind of on a par with the European Cup back then. The European Cup only got really big and powerful, you know, when Celtic won it and whatever, 1967 onwards. So it was a massive tournament back then. And if you watch that game back when we beat those Germans 2-0, that was a fucking masterclass of football by West Ham that night. And I would have loved to have experienced that.
Yeah. I think the same as you, John. The 75 final.
Just to see us lift the cup, isn't it?
Just to see us lift the cup. I mean, that's all I could say, really. But for me, if I could pick one, it would be 1980 at Wembley, beating Arsenal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If I could pick one,
How about going back and saying 1923, the White Horse Cup final?
Nah, fuck that. It was all in black and white, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know. I'd have to wear an hat and all.
Get your rattle.
Yeah, this one here. What is your favourite West Ham kit? What, this season or ever? Ever? It's the Mike Small BAC Winders blue and white stripe one, the away one.
Yeah,
I like that one. Nick?
Oh, there's so many for me,
so
really.
many,
No, you got to pick one.
No, do you know, if I'm gonna pick one, I'm gonna go for a recent one. I'm gonna go for the 15-16 season one. For me.
What describe it?
What do you mean? Well, that was just
Claret and blue.
It was just Claret and blue. It was Claret body, blue arms. It was. What do you mean? Describe it. Can you not remember back the Pyatt kit?
I'm going for the home kit between 1976 and 1980. The one with the
I
V's.
remember that kit, you old.
The one with the V. The one with the V's down the front. The one that old kit with Trevor Brooklyn and Billy Bonds. Big loose neck and everything.
Yeah. But they was sort of before my time, weren't they?
Yeah, and mine.
Well, no, you were alive when we stopped wearing them.
I was alive, but
I tell you what.
I said the worst kit was that cream one. Do you remember the It was like. That was awful, wasn't it?
That kit reminds me of Keith Rowland and John Moncur for some reason. Yeah. And that kit, that was when, you know, these days they have tight kits, tight fitting.
Yeah,
when we had that kit, everyone seems to have an extra baggy top.
Yeah.
Everyone's top was baggy.
I know.
So this is why, not only because it wasn't my, I was alive and it wasn't before my time, right? The 1975 final was fucking boring.
Yeah. Well, wasn't there?
So I was surprised you only went like 5 years before you were born. Why wouldn't you go back to the golden era of Moore, Hurst and Peters, you know, in 1965 and 1964 in the FA Cup final and things like that? You know, our first ever FA Cup final win in 1964.
I'll tell you what, talking about kits, right?
I'm not big on West Ham history though, Gary.
Yeah, but there ain't much of it, Nick.
No,
You've
no.
literally
Well, no.
5 events.
Probably more Hurst and Peters. You don't need to know.
No, I know them, but in terms of games going back, if you're just talking about finals,
Nick,
that's fine.
It's
I know
easy.
finals.
It's so easy.
But there are probably better games because if you talk to Nigel, so it's like the European. No, but if you talk to Nigel, some of the like the European journeys, it was like the semi-finals that were like the best best night.
No, that was 1970. That was 1976 when we lost in the finals to Anderlecht. But the most. I'm sure if we asked Nigel what he would like to go back, he's the same age as me. I'm sure if you asked him what game he would like to be at, it would have to be the European Cup Winners' Cup final. I'm putting words in Nigel's mouth, but
listen, Nigel don't know everything about West Ham, right?
No, I know he doesn't. But I'm just talking about emotional preferences.
Right, listen, if you three were coming on for the last 20 minutes today against Luton, what positions would you play? Who would you replace from the starting lineup? Go on, John.
Fucking hell.
I would obviously go centre back. I would take off Zuma because he looked a bit injured. I would go in and shore up the back line. That last minute goal would never have happened. I would have just headed and kicked everything out of the ground. Nick, you know how good I used to be. Let's not lie about it for 1 minute. Yeah, centre half.
I know how good you think you was. Yeah, but I would have come on and replaced Souček and added some culture to the central midfield. Just somebody that can actually pass the ball 6 fucking yards. I think I probably would have added something to the. I might not have got my head to that goal. That's the only thing. But last 20 minutes we was already 1-0 up. So yeah, I would have replaced Souček and added something to the game. It was missing. Gary, what about
Gary
you?
would have come on and
well, I think in the physical state that we're all in now, right? I don't think we could come in and take over an outfield player at all. So
play the game, Gary. Play the game.
I'll take over from Areola and have a rest.
Oh, you're going goal?
Yeah.
You're already thinking about the lung busting run down the wing and going fuck this.
I do that. Made me tired just thinking about it.
Oh, right. What's this one here? Chris Harris. Right. While we've progressed nicely under Moyes, if a sheikh investor, for example, bought the club, would you want Moyes to continue, or do you think he has the credentials to win a title? That's a strange one. You're saying if we became Man City sort of money, then I don't think probably Moyes is that manager. If I'm honest.
Yeah, but
he's probably not. He's probably not.
No. If Shakenback comes in, right? David Moyes will be out 3 months later, right?
I'm not sure I'd like the whole Sheikh takeover thing ever to happen to West Ham.
No, I don't want it to happen.
I know that sounds
What if they gave Dawson, a 5-year dildo and said, you can be captain of West Ham?
Well, no, because Michael Brennan seems to know that he's moving to Birmingham. So if that's the case, Brennan, then me and you, we're going to get Birmingham City season tickets, yeah, and sit with the Zulu fans, all right? Christ almighty.
Right. Is there any others?
That would be tragic if he went to Birmingham. You know that.
Well, I think that's people putting 2 and 2 together because Sullivan's got some relationship with that weirdo who wants to buy Birmingham, or he's a front for Sullivan. Yeah. I think people are putting 2 and 2 together up north Birmingham. I mean, Birmingham's only a bloody hour and a half away.
Exactly, Birmingham ain't up north.
Yeah, but that's another reason why I got so pissed off with. We're just going to do this for him now. I'm not going to say his name. That's why I got so pissed off with him, right? Because I knew people were going to come out and go.
Oh, John's frozen.
Oh, John, look, that's a horrible face to freeze on. Look at him. Look. Is that his sex face? Look.
Oh, babe.
Oh, yeah. He's so angry he's frozen. Right. Okay. Anyway, right, John, go on. Do you want to just finish off with the? I've invaded your comments. Sorry, mate. Do you want to just...
Right, there's loads of people talking amongst each other, so it's really hard to pick out the.
No, it's gone off the rails.
Chat.
Chris Harris, good, isn't it? It's good to see.
Chris Harris is showing off. 1980 was a great day. I wasn't there. There I was, a 9-year-old watched it on TV. Remember, it was like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
I would love it on TV. If I could pick a game for me, that would be the one.
Danny Yellow was born in 1965. She don't look that old. What does she look like? Now, Alan Dunn says, I think Gold. It's a lot. I've heard this a lot. I think Gold and Sullivan are investing now so that at the end of the season, if we are in European competition, they can get more money. I've heard a lot of people saying that for a while.
Alan, if that's what they're doing, I'm fucking good with that.
Yeah.
I'd
like I say, I think the writing's on the wall. Well, certainly for David Gold, one way or the other, he's going to be out of here soon, isn't he? But David Sullivan, although he looks revitalised with his new lady, doesn't he? He could probably go on for a few more
I'd be revitalised with his lady. How does he do it? How does he do it?
No, I don't know what she sees in him, John. I ain't got a clue.
Yeah, what about this one? Did any of you play football and how good were you? Well, Nick, you can talk about how good you was. Go on.
Yeah. Well, look, we to be honest, growing up, we didn't do anything but play football, did we?
No, we lived and breathed it, didn't we? So
yeah. It was literally get home from school, uniform off, tracksuit on. We used to stop off at the magic wall, wait for everyone to congregate. Then we'd go to some island AstroTurf, and that was it. Break into the AstroTurf after time.
We didn't come home from school, get changed, and come out. We came home from school, got changed, waited outside your house for about an hour because at the age of 11 you were shaving for some fucking reason.
I was a bit tardy, wasn't I? Yeah. But
we was always waiting for you to come out. But yeah, we just lived and breathed it. But I was the best out of me and Nick, without a doubt. Yeah, how good was you in 1940?
Oh no, I was pretty shit. I was pretty shit. I used to play it all the time, like you lot. But I like to play up front. I like to be a striker, but I also played in goal a fair bit as well. Yeah, but I wasn't good. I was crap.
No, well, at least I like your honesty. Nick still thinks he was a fucking right wing genius.
Oh, mate, honestly.
Don't stop me judging professional players, though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
exactly. But no. It was that was literally it. That was it was football growing up. That's all we did.
Yeah. I don't know what else we could.
Apart from when I used to beat you at snooker and tennis and stuff like that.
Yeah, them sports were for. I'm not going to say the word, but them sports were just pointless. You just like sports where you bent over in front of me for some reason, right? Now this is a good one. This is a good one from Mark. One of you could replace Masuaku. Couldn't get any worse.
I'll tell you what. That's probably the only outfield position that I could take. Masuaku. I could take his place and not do any worse.
Listen, is he honest? Is he that bad? Was he that bad today?
Awful.
Was he that bad today?
Oh, he's so frustrating.
What did he do wrong?
He's so frustrating. He goes forward, full of intent, turns around and passes it back.
I know he's shit. But what did he do wrong today? And people were moaning at him. I don't know what he did wrong. I didn't see him do anything wrong.
Who told him? Who told Barney?
What's that?
Who told Barney my nickname? Where's he got that from? Who's been telling him my nickname? That's what you bastards. This is just to stifle Brennan's. Who's going to Birmingham? Dawson started his career at Rochdale. He's from further north than Birmingham.
True.
But the problem is Michael Brennan's from
north.
But Michael Brennan's from Portsmouth. He thinks London's up north. The bloody muppet.
Yeah, he's a southerner, a dirty southerner, isn't he?
Absolutely ain't got a clue. Yeah, there's no more questions. There's a lot of people talking amongst each other. They don't want to talk to us anymore, but there's no more questions, guys. Yeah.
Right. This I don't know whether this is a valid point, but this is from Scott R. Even with Kostic and Scamacca, we will be the oldest team in the Premier League and maybe the slowest.
No.
Could use a few young, fast players to round out the bench. I don't know whether I mean, look, as it stands at the moment, we have got, even though we've got the smallest squad, we probably have got, on average, one of the oldest squads in the Premier League at the moment.
No, we've shifted a few older players on, don't forget, like Yarmolenko, who's 54.
Noble, Yarmolenko.
Noble was 72. Yeah. Listen, we do need pace. We do need pace.
We do.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right, everyone. Thank you very much for this evening. It's been really, really lively in the chat. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's been the first group one that we've done. We didn't do one last week, did we? We had a
week off. It was too hot.
We had a week off. So yeah,
we've only done one so that Nick doesn't get bored and come up with a really positive video on Monday morning. Otherwise, it caused all sorts of confusion. Nick was happy. I was like, "What is?" I woke up in a parallel universe. I didn't know what was going on.
I reckon all our new subscribers, because I've been positive for two. All our new subscribers would have been looking at you and Gary, thinking, "Fuck me, they're a miserable pair of bastards."
I
And
know.
they're thinking I'm the positive one.
This is
Yeah,
a
but
freaky
you
week.
was applauding me and Gary's negativity. You was like, "Go on, guys, go on."
I loved it.
It was
Do you
amazing.
Do you know what? I hate positivity so much that I watched my Monday show back and I gave myself the ump. But anyway, right, that is us done. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you're new around here, subscribe. So yeah, it's been great. Gary, thank you very much. John, thank you very much.
Cheers.
And we'll see you all on Monday with a super positive update from me. Go on, you ads.
Go on, you.
Genuines.